Hey everybody, watch this review here with a look at the DC Direct Comedian. It was in honor of the Watchmen movie. It's a little daunting to do this. I've actually had the figure for a while. I've been putting off reviewing it just because so many people have come out there and they've talked about him and so forth, but, I think it's about time to bite the bullet and actually discuss him a bit myself. Packaging-wise, obviously it's a pretty decent looking package. It's got the, other figures from the wave. The only two figures I bothered buying at all were Comedian and the Ozymandias. In part just because of the characters that they represent, in part maybe because of the price tag, and in part maybe because of the sculpt. And of course the availability was sort of crap. When the movie first came out, you couldn't find the stupid things anywhere. And then only now I'm seeing them around places, and sometimes I'm seeing like the Toys R Us near me has maybe 4 or 5 of the variant Rorschachs, which the variant Rorschach I thought was supposed to be rare, only had 1,500 or 2,000 copies according to some people. But to have 5 of them in one store, plus I don't think the variant figure looks all that great in the first place, just because the whole thing behind Ozymandias is just the cool, not Ozymandias, Rorschach's just the cool face mask and stuff, his entire namesake. But although I'll give him that the actor in the film looks a hell of a lot better than the comic guy. But let me open this up and we'll open him up and quickly open up the figure quickly. For people not familiar with the character who haven't read the comic or seen the movie, what would you be doing watching this review? But seriously, there are just 2 panels that I think highlight the character pretty well. Out of all the Watchmen, he's probably the most sociopathic. The only other one you can really compare him to is maybe Dr. Manhattan, and ironically, both after the Keene Act outlaw superheroes, both he and Dr. Manhattan are the only 2 real sanctioned superheroes. Here he is in Vietnam, a real hero, shaking hands with Dr. Manhattan in the suit, and you just see the complete psychopathic glint in the eye. Ironically, one of the other sociopaths, Rorschach, really admired him. Quick quote from Doc Manhattan: "As I came to understand Vietnam and what it implies about the human condition, I also realized that few humans will ever permit themselves such an understanding. Blake's different. He understands perfectly. He just doesn't care." The other one is just a quick dinner party. In the film, you see him shoot Nixon, but you don't see it in the comic. Instead, it's just alluded to repeatedly throughout the additional content, but it shows the scarred face and everything. I like the detail on the figure, but I don't like the face, just the fact that they have the scar and they're mandatory. If not for that cigar, I think it actually probably would be a great looking figure. He didn't look as good in the box though for some reason, but there's some fade on his hair, some paint, but just put down and actually no, the entire face sculpt just looks a little bit off. The entire body sculpt looks decent, but I don't know. It's awesome detailing on the vest and everything. Is the light even on? Oh, there it goes. I had to pause it for a second. This guy's little trademark pin. Except for that face looks a little happier than the regular happy face. Plus there's just an absolute lack of detail up there on the shoulders, which he's a really muscular guy and stuff. Which makes the fact that he doesn't have a muscular detail on the arms also funny. That's just really inconsistent quality. How could you go to all the trouble of putting all this crazy amount of detail on the body armor and then just not have any muscular detail? I don't know, just it seems a little off to me. Plus, there's little paint scratches here and there. In terms of articulation, you can't do much. Wrists will move, but they'll only do a 360 swivel. Single joint arms, elbows. Ball joint shoulders, but they're partially impeded by shoulder bands. Shoulder pads. The shoulder pads are connected to the upper part, so they can move a bit more than the other stuff. I mean, it's better than actually having them on the shoulder itself, just in terms of articulation. You'll notice it has no bicep joint or anything. Also has no waist joint. I thought he did, but I didn't try it out, and now I know. He does, however, have his legs will move up a little bit, down a little bit. The guns can be holstered or held. Only his right hand looks like it'd be decent for holding it, though. The other one doesn't have the fingers out in a position, well, at least not to the same extent. As shown, single joint knee, and the calf can twist. And so yeah, a lot of people have actually raved about this. I don't think I'm that satisfied, just because the face looks a little off, and the head does move, by the way, but I don't know. Just excellent detailing clothing, just no great detailing somewhere else, and just inconsistent paint. All in all, I'm pretty happy I got this figure. Got him for, it was $5, and then the 2 shipping and handling. They usually retail for $14. Also, I was discussing earlier, I neglected to mention the fact that the Rorschachs I'd seen the Toys R Us, they only had Rorschachs, and I think on a previous visit they had a Silk Spectre, but I mean, they aren't really getting figures out there or anything. But they're sitting on shelves at other places, like your lesser variety stores, but all in all, you know, there's also a 12-inch variant of him, 12-inch version of him available, which has a lot more detail and comes with a rifle and so forth, which might be worth checking out if you don't think this guy looks all that great. There might also be a bust available from him too. Yeah, until next time.